Meeple Nation Podcast, episode 544. Our top 5 games that are still on our shelves of shame that we want to get played before the year is done.
Welcome, citizens, to Meeple Nation. Grab your favorite beverage, pull up a chair, warm up those dice, and join us at the game table as we discuss board games and the board gaming world. Each week, the hosts of Meeple Nation share their love for board games and the amazing memories that come from playing games with some very outstanding people. Let us now join our hosts in their natural habitat, the game table.
How's that for a title?
That was a mouthful, Nathan. I'm surprised you got through it.
It only took one try.
First try.
I love editing.
We're so thankful for our sponsor, GameToppersLLC.com. Game Toppers are amazing. They have wonderful tops for your tables, so you can really enhance your gaming experience. They have different accessories that you can add and mats that you can place on top. It's all really cool. Go visit them at GameToppersLLC.com.
We are the hosts of Meeple Nation. I am Andy Holiday.
I am Douglas Stewart.
I'm Nathan Howard.
I'm Sierra Holiday.
We would love for you to go over to our website, meeplenation.com. We have links to our episodes. We have blogs and photos of our gaming experiences. We also have links to our bios. Most of our bios. We're still waiting for a bio from Sierra.
Yeah, waiting on you, Cece.
Our newest host. So we need to get a bio of her in there, but there's bios of all of us old guys in there if you would are interested in how we got into gaming and our experiences and our paths that have led us to being on Meeple Nation. We also would love to hear from you. If you have questions or comments or just want to say hello, reach out to us at meeplenation@gmail.com. While you're at meeplenation.com, click on that Patreon link. We love our patrons. We are so grateful for you. We're grateful for the support you give us and for the ability you have made for us to improve the podcast for our listeners. You too can become a patron and an official member of Meeple Nation by clicking the link, becoming a patron. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, it is that time of the week once again. One of my favorite times of every week, where we get to talk about all the great things we've been playing and what highlights we have experienced.
I was just looking at my watch, and it definitely is Highlight 30.
I love Highlight 30.
Yeah, it's my favorite time of the podcast for sure.
All right. Well, let's dive in then. Nathan, what have you been playing?
You know, this weekend, I celebrated my wedding anniversary. My wife and I went on a quick little trip.
How many years?
Our 30th year anniversary.
You're so old.
We are very old, yes.
Wow. Congratulations. That's
thank
awesome.
you. Yeah, she's very patient to have put up with me for this long. Some days more so than others, but
I don't think people even know.
You are correct. People have no idea. I am not a cup of tea to sip and enjoy all the time. And she is a dear for putting up with me for sure. Anyways, while we were off on our weekend, which was a very rough weekend, the hotel that we stayed in was garbage. The food that we ate was terrible. But we did go to an enjoyable play and had a great time at the play, and then came home early and decided to... Our normal thing is, because my wife doesn't like to take all of her game intake in one sitting, so she likes to play a game, and then we have to go do something else. Then we can come back and play a game, getting stuff. She uses the term putter, that she likes to putter around. So this gives her a chance to play some games and then go putter for a second and come back and play some games. I took this opportunity to bring down some games that I really wanted to teach to her, and some that were available on BGA that I want to be able to play with her on a more regular basis. So we got the opportunity to play some that were on BGA, some that are not, but all were new to her, which was a hurdle all in itself. She doesn't like new games. She doesn't like being taught new games. She just wants them to be quick, easy, and play.
Don't we all?
Yes. So we did play a couple of fun ones, but I'm going to start with the one that was hardest for her just to consume, and that was Star Wars, the deck building game. She was very nervous because Dominion, deck building game, is not her favorite game. Deck building is not her favorite style. But after we got through playing this, she decided that this game was pretty fun. And she really liked the whole market row where each of you are buying from it. Although for her, it seemed to be that everything was coming up Nathan in that market row, everything I could buy. And whenever she had money, there was nothing in there for her to buy. And whenever she had a ton of fight, there was not really much worth her while to fight. And for some reason, I always had a ton of capital ships in my base. But she did end up winning. So it was a very close game.
There you go.
Yep.
Nice.
She took out 3 of my bases, and I took out 2 of hers, and her last one had 3 damage left to receive. So it was a very close game, and she decided it was really fun. However, the next game she played...
Hold on. Before you move on to the next one, I am glad she liked this one.
Yes.
Because Star Wars The Deck Building game is really great. Like, if you like Star Wars and if you like deck building, this game does it really well. And I really like that center market row. And I love how you have neutral cards that everybody can buy. And I really like how you face it toward the player. You orient the cards based on whether they're Rebel or Empire. And if they're yours, you can purchase them. And if they're not yours, you can hunt them.
Right.
And I thought,
sabotage them.
Yeah, sabotage them or whatever it is. And I thought that was a great twist
Yes.
on that market row and the deck building formula.
Yeah, there's so much benefit that can come from sabotaging or hunting a card
Definitely.
of your
Oh, yeah.
opponents that it becomes quite advantageous. You're like, well, I could take out your base, but I could take out these 2 cards, which would allow me to thin my deck or allow me to buy something else that's bigger on the row. Great mechanic. I think they did a very good job of that. I am excited for the Clone Wars version to come out, although
me
I
too.
wish it wasn't just a whole new standalone. And since it's not in our hands, we don't know for sure if there's any sort of blending of the two, but...
I've heard there is, but I don't know to what extent.
Yeah.
The version that we got of the original game came with those really nice sleeves that match that version. And so if there is crossover, I hope they make those sleeves widely available. Otherwise, I'm going to have to re-sleeve the whole game or just take them all out of sleeves or something, because if you can mix them, you got to make the sleeves match.
I had some vigorous shufflers, so many of my sleeves got ripped, so I had to re-sleeve it anyway, so...
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
And then Doug took... Never mind.
There you do it again.
Never mind. I'm not even going to finish that story.
Well, if you can't even get the name right,
You're probably
it was
right.
going nowhere. What else did you guys play, though?
So the next game that Cheryl really enjoyed was a pressure luck game called Mountain Goats. It's a small little square box, so she loved the size. She thought, I'm not intimidated to learn this at all. It has that pressure luck academy. It has that pressure luck mechanic.
She loves that.
Yeah, she
Pressure
loves
luck.
that academy. But she does love pressure luck games for sure. So you have columns 5 through 10, and you're trying to get your coats.
You are
What is going on?
You're trying to get your goats to the top. And once you get your goat to the top, then you're going to receive one of those tokens that's at the top of those respective columns. And if you get one of each column, then you're going to get a bonus token, and the game goes until the 4 bonus tokens are claimed, or if 3 of the columns run out of tokens. It's really good about pushing your luck, which is an element that she really enjoyed, and we played that like 6 times, and she won at 5. And the last time I
Wow.
barely won, and it was by 2 points.
Dang.
And so I was going real cutthroat at the high value tokens, and she was getting a little mad, thought that I was taking all the fun, and then she still ended up with 2 of the biggest bonus tokens, and then...
Oh, you really got her goat, huh?
Oh, yeah, I see what you did there. You're
Boo.
bad.
Get you in your bad self.
So the next one, Next Station London, which is a simple track planning game. You're laying out the metro of London. This was a pretty clever game. You have 4 pencils. So when you're playing with up to 4 people, everybody starts with their own pencil, and you're going to flip over cards from the stack, and you're going to connect anywhere from 5 to 10 different tracks going from that pencil color starting depot, and you're trying to connect to these locations. After you go through that column the one time, then you shift pencils. So everybody passes their pencil to the left. You get a new color pencil. You're starting at a new depot, and you shuffle up the depot cards. You flip them over, and again, you're going to go 5 to 10 locations, and your tracks cannot cross. So you have to have fresh lines. So as you get to the 4th pencil, you're starting to limit yourself a little bit. You can still go to the same depot, but you have to be able to branch off of a different section or a different exit from that depot. Several varieties of this. There's Next Stop Tokyo, Next Stop Paris. Pretty sure they all play the same, but this was a very enjoyable little quick game that she very much enjoyed.
So you pass a pencil rather than pick a pen?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See,
And this
I
is.
see. I
Was
see
this a
what we're doing
Rainier
here.
Knizia? No, this one wasn't a Rainier.
Oh, that
Knizia.
would have been too good.
Yeah, it would have.
Yeah.
But the last game we did play, My City Roll and Build.
I really like that game.
I do too. And you are a jerk at that game. Although.
Because I won the one game
yeah,
we played?
by a lot. When you play the campaign, so this is a game that you
that's
can play
true.
over
That's true. We did
12
play.
episodes.
Yeah, we did play them all.
And it has 4 chapters that you're playing. So you're playing episode 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then you're going to.
Thank you for counting all this out for me. I wasn't sure.
I should have gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
I've heard that forever.
You're welcome.
You are old.
Yeah, I got that pinball machine going in my head now and everything.
Yeah. Awesome.
Anyways,
Me too.
yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Sierra, do you even know what we're talking about?
I've heard it before.
All right. Good.
On TikTok or something like that.
Oh,
Probably.
yeah, TikTok.
Ugh.
But anyways, when you play the campaign, you play through all 12 episodes, your score just starts to accumulate. And much like my game with Doug, Cheryl is quickly stretching out her lead. I think I have only won 2 episodes. And the first one was, I had 10 points. She had 9. So she's quickly made up that deficit. Like the last, I think we just finished episode 10. And I had 47 and she had 89. So yeah, she's going to win
Wow.
overall.
Good heavens.
Yeah. But all these little fun
Way
games
to go,
that's
Cheryl. Wow.
yeah, it's all you roll some dice and then you're able to, the dice have to go together in a certain pattern. It has a little half circle on there to say these 2 dice go together this way. And then you have 3 building types that you can put on your map, and you have to start next to the river for most of the game, and your buildings have to be connected to another building, but you're trying to do all sorts of combinations, try to not cover trees, try to cover rocks, try to get your building shapes to your building types together to score to maximize your points. Great fun little game, and it is one that is available on BGE.
BGE.
PGA. Mhm.
Yeah, it's one that's available on BGA along with Mountain Goats and Next Station London. So all 3 of those are available on BGA, and I am playing all 3 of those with my wife now. So
Nice. Well, good
But-
job.
that was a mouthful of highlights there because it is highlight 30, and so now that it is highlight 45, somebody else can go.
Sierra, what have you been playing?
This past week, I had like a girls' night with a bunch of my high school friends. None of them are really super big into board games, but we sat down and, I don't know, an hour and a half, we just played several fun games. We played one called Hues and Cues, where you have to make some sort of one-word clue to direct everyone to a specific color on this board that has
That's the one where
a ton
the
of
whole
colors.
board is just like a big color grid, right?
Yeah, and it has like numbers on one side and the letters on the other, and it goes to like 30J or something like that. There's a ton of colors, and they're all very similar. They flow into one another. And then you have a 2-word clue that you solidify, and everyone tries one more time to try and get it right. And then you get points based off of that. First person to 50 points wins. That ended up being a very close game. I did so horribly at the very first. Caught up pretty quick afterwards, though. I was able to give some pretty good clues.
As a party game, this one is actually rated pretty high. I mean, it's a party game that's
It's not a party game.
It is a party game. It goes to 10 people. Isn't that what qualifies? And she
Hues
said it
and-
was fun.
Hughes and Hughes goes up to 10 people? Does it really?
10 players, yeah.
Oh my word, it is a party game.
Yeah. So, I mean, it has a 6.6, so it's not like a crazy high rating. But as far as party games go,
It's a very high rating.
yeah, it's considered a high rating for party games.
Party games.
This is one I would like to try
King
at
of
some
party
point.
games.
The king of party games.
6
Not quite
point
that.
something? Wow.
Yeah, it's like it's above 4 or 3.
Wow.
So
Wow. I opened that can and I exposed it to you for sure, but you guys surely leaned into that way too hard. But yes, Sierra, I would like to play this game with you, probably without your dad for sure, because I would like to have fun with it.
It's definitely not for the colorblind. I have played this one before,
Have
and
you?
I actually did like it, yeah. Yeah, not for the colorblind, though.
yeah, for sure.
No. I also had just gotten the new That's Not a Hat that has 30 new cards, and we played that one as well. It doesn't say on the box, so I I wasn't sure. It just says that's not a hat, but green.
Oh, nice.
I'll allow
Yeah,
it.
it has
That is a true statement.
It has 30 cards that are different than the rest of the cards. Usually you're just able to pass it to the left or to the right based on where the arrows are pointing. But with these 30 cards, you can pass it to anyone sitting at the table. You can pass it all the way across the table, or then it changes up the orders, and it's pretty chaotic. It's really fun.
Actually, that would be kind of nice because some of those That's Not a Hat games with higher player counts, it can get stuck on one end of the table.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? So that would actually be pretty nice to be able to kick one across the table if it's got stuck. I like that, actually. Yeah. I'm going to have to give that a go. I like That's Not a Hat. It's a fun one.
I thoroughly enjoy That's Not a Hat. Haven't had an opportunity to play this new one, so I'm jealous
We'll add
of
it
your
to the
highlights. So.
And then we played this other party game that you had these two letters. One was right in front of the other, and you had to quickly think of a word before everyone else that had those letters in a word, with the first of the two letters coming before the second one in the word. It didn't have to be the first and last letter, but that made it easier if you could figure a word like that.
That sounds like the kind of game I would be horrible at.
It was pretty fun.
Good.
Especially with a lot of people that read books and know a ton of words.
Cool.
So, Andy, I'm going to let you lead with this, but first I want to just say that the game that both of us it's our highlight, is a game called Evenfall. And I just want to make note that in the show notes, I had it entered in as Evenfell, and you had it spelled as Enenfall. And so neither one of us spelled the stupid game right in the show notes.
With your powers combined.
Anyway, Evenfall. What did you think? This was one I got to teach you the other night.
This is a prep for SaltCon, right?
Yeah.
I liked it. I did so terrible at this game, but I had a lot of fun doing terrible at this game.
I felt like I did terrible at it too, but that was because we were playing with Richie.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Richie had a good strategy. So I have a little bit of mixed feelings, but I don't necessarily know if that's an issue with the game. It looks far more simple than it really is. There's a lot of multi-use cards in this game, and there's a lot of things that you can do. One of the things that I kind of ignored was mana generation, and I think that's what ultimately really hurt me. And Richie 100% focused on mana generation.
Yeah.
He ran away with the game for sure.
Yeah. Without, going into a full description of how the game plays, there's a battle phase, and the more mana you have, the more mana you can bid during those battles. And it's not a very take that battle system.
No.
At all. The highest power wins, but everyone else who meets certain thresholds also gets rewards. But being able to pump a bunch of mana into that battle phase, I think really helped him out a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and it wasn't necessarily that he was trying to win the battle. It was more gaining the rewards, meeting those thresholds. And the fact that he was able to meet the threshold on pretty much every time on all three of the different boards gained him a lot of points. It gained him a lot of resources. Anyway, it really helped him out. And I rarely gained anything because I just didn't have the mana pumped into it. I do like how you have your witches and your elders. You have the worker placement aspect with them, but you have to manage where your cards are because you can only play your elders in your inner ring and you can play your witches in the outer ring or on the boards. Enjoy that management of it. The fact that there are cards that allow you to break some of those rules. And
yeah, like all good card games, there are cards that break some of the rules, but in good ways, in balanced ways. Right. I didn't feel like any of it was overpowered.
Nope. Overall, it was a great game. I am very anxious to try it again.
Me too. It was the first time both of us had played it, and I think both of us were left with the same impression, which was art was good, components was good, gameplay was surprisingly good considering that it looked fairly simple.
Yep.
There's definitely a lot of meat to this game and a lot more to explore, so definitely want to play some more of it.
Yeah, I think that's well put.
When you started to talk about this, I thought this is one we had played, but it is definitely not.
Nope.
It does look really cool.
It is fun.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
It's a fun game.
It's really good. What did you think we were talking about?
Eben Full or
how do you spell that?
Yeah,
I was trying to
spell that for us.
I couldn't remember what your guys' misspelled words were. I was trying to combine both the errors instead of the Evan Fall.
Oh, that's so good. Nathan, talk to us about what inspired today's topic. We're going to talk about Shelf of Shame games, which can be hard.
It can be hard.
It can be kind of a reality check.
It's a painful subject.
It can be painful for some people.
It wasn't as painful until I started taking pictures of all of them so I could put them in the show notes.
Yeah.
And then I realized that I suck.
Yeah, I came up to the game room and started to look around like, okay, what are my top 5? Because we did talk when we originally said, hey, we got our Shelf of Shame games earlier this year, and we're like, okay, we want to revisit this subject again. And so here it is, September now. We're running out of time to play some of these games, and there are some games that are on my list that are phenomenal games.
How do you know?
Well,
They look
phenomenal. And I really, really want to get them to the table. Exactly like you said, Andy, you go around and you're like, oh man, there are so many games that I want to play. And there are so many games that I've had for too long
Yes.
to not have gotten to the table.
Like 2 decades too long. Had a couple that were like early 2000s. I'm like, wow, that is really pathetic that I have not played that and I've owned it for 20 years.
Yeah. Well, and you're the kind of person that's like, I'm not going to call anything. And
That's my after this I might be just like, I'm not ever going to play this game. I
Yeah.
just need to get rid of it.
yeah. Well, hopefully it's StarCraft and you can get rid of that to me.
There you go. I do want to play that one.
I do too. I very much want to read the rules, but it'd probably still sit on my shelf for another 20 years too. But anyways, you asked the question, Doug. We came back to our Shelf of Shame. Sierra, you missed this. Full disclosure, your probably personal collection is not comparable to ours.
It's
Not
still
whatsoever.
impressive.
But yeah.
It's still a good collection. But here's the thing: she plays the games in her collection.
There's that. So how many do you have in your collection, Sierra?
I think I've got about like 24, including an expansion or 2 that I have.
Okay, awesome.
That's a great collection.
That's nothing to shake a stick at. That's
No,
more than
no.
I had at her age. So
Yeah, absolutely. It's no 1400, but
Come on, Nathan.
she has 40 years to catch up to you.
she does.
I'm
yeah.
a broke college student.
Well, I'm a broke college employee. So take that. So the moral of the story is don't go to college.
Wow.
That's definitely not the moral of the story.
I mean, yeah, this isn't that kind of podcast, but
No.
you're not wrong.
Yeah. College isn't for everybody, and that's okay.
Oh, boy.
And so, I'm just going to shut up. Yep. Anyways.
Yeah, we'll
All right.
kill that
Anyways,
one.
what I'm trying to say, Sierra, your collection, you very much dip into your dad's collection, and you very much have experienced games from my collection and Doug's collection as well. When we bring you on, we don't necessarily want to shame your collection more than we already just did. But,
What's this we?
Yeah. You got a mouse in your pocket over there?
oh, man. Guess I'm the shelf-shaming bully.
Man alive.
But what I'm trying to say, in a very awkward way,
Are you trying to say?
I don't know, is you may not have a huge personal game collection, but you have a vast experience of games that you've played. Your information on this is completely relevant, just to, I guess, give a small little bit of context to those who are listening that may or may not have been needed whatsoever. But there it is.
But there it is.
Thank you, Nathan.
Things are far more clear now.
Fantastic.
So this was a very long approach to answering your question,
Yeah,
Doug.
I was going to say, well, so I am glad we're talking about these at the beginning of the year, which feels like it was, I don't know, 2 days ago. Was that 2 days ago? 3 days ago, maybe?
Depending on the month, sometimes it feels like 2 years ago.
Feel like this year has just gone by in the blink.
Way too quick.
But
yeah.
But we had talked about how we wanted this year to be a year where we really got caught up on Shelf of Shame games. And we were pretty committed. And we did an episode a while back, as opposed to 3 days ago, like a day ago or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, we did an episode a while back where
It's
we
catching
did
on.
where
You're-
we
you're
did
picking up Nathanisms.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Well, but we did do a little bit of okay, these are the games we've gotten played, and we had talked about revisiting that, maybe doing more of these throughout the year and holding ourselves accountable. I don't think we've done a very good job.
No.
We've gotten some off the shelves, but then we've just replaced them with others. This is a good one because I feel like this will motivate us at least to try to narrow down a handful of games for each of us that we can try to get played by the end of the year. Because we do genuinely need to get some of these games off the Shelf of Shame. They look good. We need to find out if they're good. We need to get them played.
And then call them.
And then either love them or cull them.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
So I guess to put a little bit of context,
yes, attempt to
we
give us
have
more
some-
context.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love to ramble.
Uh-huh.
New games to me played this year, I have a personal goal of trying to get 150 new games to me played this year.
Okay.
And so currently I sit at 104 new games that I've played.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's good.
For the year. And so that does not necessarily mean that these are all my games. I mean, these are games new to me, new games that I'm adding into my app recording for the first time. And then I also have my other personal goal of playing at least 250 different games throughout the year. And on that list, I'm at 201 currently. There is hope for those. For the year, I'm 1,336 games of the year. So for that ratio of games that need to be played, we're not going to talk about my shelf of shame. It might be more polite to talk about Sierra's, since we could say, oh, Sierra, you got like 3 games on your shelf of shame, or oh, Nathan, you got 300 games on your shelf of shame.
Only 300?
That's what I'm going to say it is, so shut up, Andy.
Wow. That's amazing.
I would be amazed if it was only 300, to be honest.
It's not 300.
No, it is definitely not 300.
It's way more.
400 isn't way more.
All right, so how are we doing this? Yeah, it's only
So
25.
anyway.
It's only 25%
If it was 400, you're right.
more.
It wouldn't be way more.
All right, enough of this.
So
This is-
what I did, and it sounds like what Andy did, and I don't know if Doug did and Sierra, if you did as well, but I went through my shelves and said, I have that game that I haven't yet played. I really want to play that one. I have that game that I haven't really played. I really want to play that one. And I have made that list. I started a list of 5, and I quickly rose to a list of 15, but I'm only going to really talk about the top 5 since my highlights went on for so long. So everybody's heard enough out of me.
Okay.
So that's what I did. It sounds like Andy kind of did the same thing.
Yes, very similar.
I don't know how you approached it, Doug. I don't know how you approached it, Sierra. Either way that you approached it is correct, or either way, meaning that there was only 2 options. Any way that you approached it was correct. And with that, I'm going to just shut up and sit back. The podcast is yours.
I went through and made a list of about like 15 to 20 of the games that I was the most excited about trying to get off the shelf of shame. I have more than that, but I just went through and did that. And then I went through and just kind of highlighted sort of the top 5 and just kind of thinking about reasons why I want to play them and that kind of thing. So I did make a list from those. So similar approaches, not quite the same, but similar.
Sierra, what did you do?
I looked at mine and was like, well, I've played just about all these games. There's like
Bragger.
one that I haven't played, but I don't really care to play. It's a kid's brain game thing, so
I would make fun of that, but I too have several games that. Why do I own this? I'm not going to mention Killer Bunnies.
they're for the kids. They don't matter too much, right?
Yeah, those kids, they don't matter much at all.
No, just the kids' games.
Oh,
The
okay.
kids' games, they're for the kids to do.
So you had a couple games, so what'd you do with the rest of them?
I went and looked at your games and looked at ones that I thought were cool. I looked them up on BGA, looked at
How about BGG?
BGG. I don't have BGA.
You should fix that. Totally. Have fun. Give in to the dark side.
Oh, man.
We got cookies.
Virtual ones?
Yeah.
Wow.
Every website has
Not
them.
the kind of cookies you want.
No.
Not the tasty kind. Anyway.
Go ahead, Sierra.
But I looked them up on BGG and from the descriptions decided, oh, this is one that I think is really cool. I'm going to see if I can learn this game before the end of the year.
So games on your list that you want to have played by the end of the year. Okay.
If you want, I have several games you could look at on my shelves and see if you want to learn how to play any of those too.
Alrighty.
I'm just saying, just throwing that out there.
And by several, he means like 600.
Don't mean that many. Somewhere between 6 and 4.
All right, so let's start off with our top 5 games that we want to play by the end of the year.
Okay, it's closer to 4. Okay, 400. It's closer to that.
I don't believe you.
It totally is.
No, it's not. Doug.
Sierra, end this madness. What's your number 5?
Yeah.
Yeah. My number 5 is Suburbia, trying to figure out how to make your civilization survive, collecting resources, trying to manage them, meanwhile everyone else is doing theirs. When I first saw it and was reading through, I was really worried that it was like area control, and you have to try and I don't like area control where you're competing against everyone else for space. Those are really hard for me to get. Got kind of that gotcha aspect to it, and I don't like those kinds of games. But then I went through and looking at the boards, and it was, oh, you're working on your space more so than working on other people's.
Yeah, I can see this being a game you would enjoy. There are a ton of different buildings you can build as you're building your city up.
Is this the one you have the collector's edition of?
Yeah, this is.
Okay. We
Yeah.
did play this one. I liked it.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah.
You destroyed
It is
us
a
in
good
this
game.
game,
Did I?
Doug. Oh, my
yeah,
gosh.
I did. That's right.
Oh, yeah, I did. That's why I like it.
totally forgot about that. That's right. It was a really great game.
It's a good game because I destroyed everybody.
He didn't have to lose in the tie.
No, this is a fun game. And yeah, this is one I think we can definitely get to the table by the end of the year. So yeah, good pick. What about you, Douglas?
Ooh, okay. So number 5 for me is going to be Primal: The Awakening. And this is one that I backed because it just looks like it has tons and tons of cool big monsters to fight. And that's what it is. It's kind of a big monster battler style game. Pick a character and you have these big, massive, epic battles against a huge chunk of plastic in the middle of the table. If you win, you get to turn that animal, harvest it for upgrades, and go fight another one. It really actually does look very, very fun. The reason why this made my number 5 is because my son Brigham keeps salivating over it. Every time he walks in, he's like, I want to play Primal. When are we going to learn Primal? I want to play that game so bad. Because it really does. It looks very, very cool. I need to get that one played in large part because he wants to play it. It sounds like one we could really enjoy together.
Kids are great motivators.
They really are.
Andy, what you got?
All right, my number 5 is Glenmore 2 Chronicles. I've played Glenmore.
Oh, have you? Because I own Glenmore.
Yeah, I played your copy of Glenmore.
How was it?
It was okay. Didn't go out and buy it, but it was good.
Why would you buy it when... sorry, that's a Doug line.
That's a Doug line.
You guys are so funny.
Anyway, I kickstarted this years ago and it fulfilled, and I was really excited to get it played, and going through the rules and like the tale as old as time, I wasn't watching a video, but I probably fell asleep during these rules too. But no, I got the rules read and we just didn't play it. So now I have forgotten the rules and will need to reread them. But it looks fun. It actually looks amazing. Everybody is a leader, a Scottish leader that you are trying to lead your clan to victory. A grid movement, market, set collection, tile placement game. Build up your power, build up your resources, and it looks cool. So I don't remember a ton about it because
it's been so long.
It's been way too long since I've read the rules, but I'm very excited to get it back to the table or back into my hands with the rule book so that we can get it to the table.
Excellent. Yeah, that's one I want to play too.
All right, so one that I was really excited to get and got it and then put it on the shelf and has since had an expansion come out.
Like roughly.
Do you have the expansion?
Like roughly 400.
I do have the expansion.
Like roughly 400 other games.
You know, that wound is pretty tender.
Yeah, just pouring a little salt in there.
You are grind it in there. But anyways, yes, it has an expansion that's come out, and I own the expansion. It has a second expansion announced.
Do you have that ordered?
Yes, I do have it ordered.
Okay.
I was just getting ready to say it's only announced, but you asked, do I have it ordered? Yes, got it ordered.
So proud of you.
Yeah, thank you.
Ordering games for expansions for games you haven't played.
Yes, yeah.
You're the
Moron
best.
Written right here on my forehead. But anyways, this game is Excavation Earth. Humans on Earth have all died out from, I guess it was 80 years after us. And okay, that was a reference after us.
Yeah, we caught it. I don't know if the listeners did, but
So after us is the ape collecting games. Ape has evolved, but they said that it's 80 years into the future. So within 80 years, humanity died out. Anyways, short story, way too long. Humanity has died out on the planet Earth. It's now a virtual wasteland. Aliens have come to Earth and they are salvaging what they consider artifacts. You're going to sell them and you're going to try to collect artifacts that are going to be of value. But in reality, some of these artifacts include things like license plates, broken controllers, all sorts of little odds and ends that we have discarded throughout the years. But someone coming to this new Earth wasteland have found and said, wow, this looks pretty cool. But just the whole theme of this game really excites me. I find it very intriguing. The new expansion, I love the title of it. It's Excavation Earth. it belongs in a museum. And, the line from Indiana Jones. I like the play on that, but I'm really excited to get this to the table. However, not excited enough to read the rules. But hopefully we'll read some rules before the end of the year.
Sounds good.
That sounds like a fun
That's
game.
a good pick, and one that I'm definitely interested in playing with you,
Yeah,
for sure.
me too.
Sierra, what's your number 4?
I have Chemical Overload as my number 4. This is a new one that my dad just got, and we were talking on the way here, and he was like, yeah, that's a new one that I've been wanting to read, but I can't because I've been so busy. And, well, it looks really cool, and it kind of reminds me of some other games that I really like Alchemists and Potion Explosion.
Oh, I'm out then. I like Potion Explosion. I'm maybe back in.
There's not deduction in it.
No, just like,
Okay, I'm mostly back in then.
yeah, you know how in the end of Alchemists there's the test thing, right, where you have to test your knowledge?
No.
Well,
Yeah,
there
no,
is.
I
and
was
there's-
checked out. I was so burned out by the time we got to that point. I was like,
He was probably on his phone.
yeah. Oh, you're probably right.
Oh, man. Has that aspect in there. Different where you are running out of time in the end testing because it's getting more toxic as you're mixing all these potions and fumes are, I guess, getting into the air. So you have to quickly be building up your points before your time runs out by creating these potions. It's also a deck builder, trying to manage your hand, I'm assuming, so that you can get the required resources to make your potions. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that's what it seems like.
Well, I saw this on your dad's table last time I was over there, and I too am pretty excited to play this. It looks pretty cool, and it doesn't look a thing like Alchemist, so I think it looks fun.
Yeah, I think with Alchemist, you didn't like the deduction part of it, and I don't think there's any deduction going on with
Well,
this.
and I like deduction games. Don't get me wrong, but for some reason, Alchemist broke me.
All right, that is a good pick. I'm excited for that one too. I just barely got that one like a week ago, so very excited. Doug, what have you got for your number 4?
My number 4 is a game that I picked up because it is a Chip Theory Games game. There you go. And
First
it looked,
try.
it looked amazing. It is, of course, because it's Chip Theory Games, has a whole host of amazing neoprene that you create this incredible map out of, and it's got all their cool chips and little metal figures and all that kind of stuff. This is Burn Cycle, and it has just sat in kind of a corner in my game room, and I haven't even pulled the shrink off the box yet. And I really want to get this one played because it does look good. The theme is sort of you're like these robots trying to sneak in. You're trying to hack your way into these corporate headquarters to steal and, I guess, collect all their data. I'm not 100% sure exactly what kind of story is going on there, but everything about this game looks awesome. It looks like the kind of game I would absolutely love. It's a little heavier. That has 4.01 on the weight scale, but it's rated really well. It's at about an 8 as far as rating goes. I really do want to play this one, and I just need to find time to pull it off the shelf. And it's kind of hitting that point where every time I look at it, I'm feeling real guilty. So this one's a very guilt-driven choice for me.
Guilt-driven choice. It's a complex game, 4.01.
Yeah, but it looks so good.
It does look really cool.
So that's my
And
number
this
4.
is one that I've seen, and I too would very much like to try. So it sounds like we need to get all these played. Maybe.
Yeah, so far we've had awesome games.
Yep,
And we're only on number 4s.
Yeah.
it's true.
All right, my number 4 is, I actually have several of these Dungeons & Dragons dungeon crawl games. The one I'm most wanting to get to the table is Dungeons & Dragons The Legends of Drizzt. I love the novels. R.A. Salvatore's Drizzt novels are amazing. And this is a dungeon crawl cooperative game where you're going in, and it's a dungeon crawl where you're going in and multiple quests that you're going to be able to fulfill, leveling up your characters. So just the typical dungeon crawl. So the nice thing is that it integrates in with all of the other Dungeons & Dragons games. So I have quite a few of these that I would really like to get played. It's just one of those things of, once again, learning the rules. And I think once we get the rules read and learned and start playing, it'll be much easier to just bring it to the table. It's not super heavy, 2.58, so it should be fairly easy to get out and get it played. This is one I've wanted to get on the table for years and just have not managed to do it.
Tyrants of the Underdark is the same realm or same
Yes, so it's-
storyline.
Yeah, so it's Forgotten Realms novels. These are based on The novels by R.A. Salvatore.
And we still need to get Tyrants of the Underdark to the table
Yes.
for you, too.
That is true.
Yeah, and the one in this series that I would want to play is the Castle Ravenloft.
I have
'Cause
that one too.
Really want to play that one. I have a lot of fondness for the old that whole Curse of Strahd setting for D&D.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So very, very cool.
All right, Sierra, I'm pretty excited to talk about your number 3 because I'm very anxious to play this one again.
Me too. This almost made my shelf of shame, and that's because I've had it for 2 weeks. And I should be played by now.
Well, the fact that I keep hearing from you guys how awesome it is the reason it's on here. My number 3 is From the Moon. I have heard nothing bad about this game so far, and I've been hearing about it for, like you said, the past 2+ weeks, right?
We'll talk after. I can tell you some bad things.
Doug,
We
will
haven't
watch.
played it.
I'm kidding. It's a good game.
A puzzly game. You're trying to figure out how to help humanity survive in different places in the galaxy because Earth is doomed. You're on the moon, you're trying to figure it all out. I've heard that there's a ton of different things to do and ways to try and get things done. Based on that, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be able to get everything done that you want to, right?
That is true.
Yeah, those are always difficult, but such a fun challenge, I think.
Yeah, this is a game where there are a ton of ways to score points. And I love games like that, where there are so many paths to victory, different ways to try to score points each time you play, and the fact that there are asymmetrical starting powers that are meaningful. I feel like they're meaningful throughout the game, not just you start with this. Yay. It's you have this power and you can exploit that power throughout the game to really get an engine going or to really try to score just a ton of points based on those benefits that only you have that are unique to you, to the faction you're playing.
Yeah, those are really nice where it gives you that direction to go, where you're not just completely lost and overwhelmed by how many choices you have.
Yeah, great game. I like this as your pick to get played before the first of the year, before the end of the month, or before next week.
So far, that's has the highest chance of getting played.
That's true.
ASAP, yeah. So is it me or you, Doug?
I think it's me. So my number 3 is just an absolutely amazing looking game from Awaken Realms, one that's been out for a really long time and that I still haven't had the chance to play. Also one that I own everything for and backed the new stuff that's coming out, and that is Nemesis. I mean Alien the board. No, Nemesis, that's right. We can't say Alien the board game, even though it's totally Alien the board
should
game.
be.
But it's Nemesis. Yeah.
Copyright violations stop you from saying Aliens the board game.
Yes. Concept of space horror, cooperatively trying to escape the aliens, that sort of cat and mouse feel, the anxiety that kind of play can induce, and just given the fact that it seems to do all of those things really well because everyone I've talked to who has played it loves it. I just need to get it to the table. Logan has still failed to teach me this one, even though he's told me he's going to like 1,000 times.
Yeah, I would like to say I could teach it to you since I learned Nemesis first, but it has been way too long since I've even played Nemesis. Couldn't remember how to begin to teach, but Nemesis is a great game. So many little nuances about it. The fact that you can't pick your path until partway through the game. You have 2 choices that you're going to make if you're going to try to eliminate somebody or you're going to try to work with somebody. You never really know how people are working. At the same point, everybody is working together. So it's kind of like real life, right? Everybody's got to work together a little bit, but in the end, everybody's kind of looking out for themselves more.
We're cooperatively doing our own thing.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, it sounds like a really fun experience. And
is
so
amazing.
that's why it's my number 3, because I definitely want to get this played before the year is up.
Hopefully it is a longer experience than my last time playing.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Weren't you there with me? I think you and I were playing something on the other table that was supposed to be a short game.
And we beat you.
And you guys, you spent way more time setting up.
Yes. And taking down they were both, setting up was longer than the game and taking down was longer than the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, we died very quickly.
30 minutes to set it up, 15 minutes to play,
Yeah, pretty much.
30 minutes to put it away.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it. But it is a great game. You'll like it.
Very cool.
So my number 3, I bought this when it first came out 17 years ago. Oof.
Wow.
Yeah. So
And you still haven't played it at all?
I have not.
Like at all?
At all. No, I have not played
Not once.
it. Not once.
Oh my gosh.
No.
I want to know what this is.
This is Tannhauser.
Oh,
Tannhauser.
yes.
This is a Dudes on the Map game, which I love, which is why it surprises me I have not played this. It's set in 1949, basically fighting against Nazi Germany. They found a gate to hell and are trying to exploit this to further their purposes, and you're trying to stop them. So you're parachuting behind enemy lines, and you're going in to stop the Reich from obtaining this unholy power. It just looks fun. I don't know why I haven't played it. There have been tons of expansions I probably should have bought, but didn't because I hadn't played it. Probably going to play it and love it and be kicking myself for not picking up some of the expansions because they're way expensive now.
Well, you should just do what I do. You own
Just
the
buy
base
everything.
game, just always buy expansions as they come out.
And
And,
then
then
sell
when you sell it, it's nice because you have the whole complete set.
That's
and
true.
It sells a lot faster that way.
Yeah, that's true. Wise words from Nathan Howard. Everyone. Anyway, that's my...
I like to say they're words to live by.
Well, you're doing awesome. I'm so proud of the example you're setting for everyone.
Your game collecting logic is so great, Nathan. Oh my word.
That's my number 3, Tannhauser.
All right. So we skipped over me, but I'll come back.
To number 3?
Yeah.
You've been last in the rotation every time.
Oh.
Every time.
Well, then I'm going to shut up.
What is going on? with
Should have
you?
been doing that from the get-go. So my number 3, tell me what you think of this line here. Corporations compete in this dark dystopia. What are you willing to do to win? Are you intrigued? How about this? Solar 175, which is the name of the game,
I'm intrigued now.
is an
Done.
epic Euro-style legacy experience for 1 to 4 players. The game utilizes bag building, area control, worker placement, and is inspired between the fusion between classic Euro games such as Orleans, El Grande, and a unique theme involving the universe Solar 175. It's set in a prosperous, expanding universe system with immersive world building and engaging narratives. This game is rich on theme and will feature interesting philosophical choices as well as engaging Euro-style gameplay. Are you intrigued? Because I was when I backed it 2 years ago.
Nice.
So intrigued that it's still sitting on the shelf.
Is it in shrink still?
Shut up. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Just curious.
Hello, Brandy.
Yeah. I have the recharge set for it and everything ready to go.
So you can play it again.
So I can play it again. But
So good.
That's awesome.
Hasn't even broken the shrink. I got the recharge pack and everything.
it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, so I'm totally looking forward to playing this Solar 175. Everything I just read is what intrigued me to back it when it first was on Kickstarter, as opposed to since it's never been on Kickstarter again. But when it was on Kickstarter, that's what intrigued me, and I backed it. I'm still intrigued to play it, so much that I put it number 3 on my list.
Okay.
Okay, we do have to. Something did go wrong. You're right, Nathan. It's not just in your head. Your number 4 did get skipped. You didn't talk about number 4 here
Didn't I?
on your list. You talked about Excavation Earth. What did you talk about for number 4?
Oh, that's why. So I have a number 4 too.
Well,
Okay.
what you talked about something though. What did you talk about?
I just Excavation Earth is the only thing I've talked about.
Is that the only one? Okay, so you did get skipped, but it was number 4 that we skipped.
Yeah.
Yep.
So sorry.
Well,
You do need to talk about your number 4 because I'm excited about your number
Me
4.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my number 4. So we'll backtrack. Number 4.
Nice. The sound effects are great. Yep. Just keep going.
Freelancers, a crossroad game. So this is Plaid Hat's reutilization of their
Crossroad?
Crossroads
Huh?
mechanic that
Yeah.
they used in Dead
It started with Dead of Winter.
Dead of Winter. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and they also used it in the pirate one, the Forgotten Waters.
Forgotten Waters.
Forgotten Waters, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of worked out some of those kinks. Hopefully this is going to be even more enjoyable. I very much enjoyed Dead of Winter and Forgotten Waters. I only played a couple of times, but that was very well done. And the voice acting in that one was extremely well done.
It was.
And so I don't know if there's going to be voice acting with this. I haven't pulled it out to get that far into it. This is a game that I actually had once, cold once, rebought, and hopefully we'll keep it this time and give it a chance to get to the table.
I hope so too. This is one that looks really fun.
So I am really excited about that. Not as excited as Solar 175 apparently, but that was why Solar was 175 was number 3 and Freelancers A Crossroads game was number 4.
Okay.
Now we're all caught up.
We're all caught up. All right. Back to Sierra. We're on our number 2s.
Number 2. Okay, so the past 3 were ones from my dad's collection. Now we're into my collection. I have Castles of Burgundy as my second one. I've played this once before. It was awesome, and I really need to play it again. You're building up your kingdom with all of your farms. You've got different buildings that have abilities. You have castles, you have mines, and you're just trying to make it all function properly and in an order that makes sense to your map or to any sort of abilities that you end up getting based off of particular buildings.
Since you haven't played your copy of this, we need to play your copy.
Yes.
Now, it will not be quite as the same without the deluxe components, but the game is still the same and is still awesome. Maybe get some of your friends that can wrap their heads around games, the few that you have. Not few friends, but the few friends that you have that can wrap over. Now I feel like Nathan. The few friends that you have of all of your friends that can wrap their heads around games.
Wow.
I don't think you're getting that any better.
Anyway, maybe
both of your friends might like this.
Maybe you can teach them.
You have 2? So lucky.
Maybe once you get home, Doug's daughter is back, then you guys can play this game together.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
Yeah, she would love that.
Good pick.
Yeah, Castles of Burgundy is a great game.
It is good.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
love to lose this game all the time.
I love to beat you at this game all the time.
Hey, you beat me the last time we played. And
Yeah, but I still lost to Jody.
Jody kicked both our rear ends. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Second place is the best I've ever gotten. It's kind of like my motto in life. Second place is as good as I'll be.
It's like first, almost.
Uh-huh.
Sure.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Wow.
All right, Doug.
All right, my number 2 is actually another Awaken Realms game. I'm dying to play this one. I'm dying to play it. It's rule books. A lot of these Shelf of Shame games come down to the time it takes to read the rule books because they're larger games. A lot of them are campaign games. And this is one that the components look incredible on. I actually missed the first Kickstarter they did for this one, so I caught the second one. I went all in. I've got all the amazing little army pieces and everything. This is The Great Wall. It looks amazing. It's set in China. It's a competitive game, and it's a worker placement game where you're building out your generals and your armies and all, but you still have to come together cooperatively from time to time to fend off the Mongolian hordes. Everything about this game just screams that it's going to be one that I will really, really love. I did take everything out of the boxes and kind of played with them and put it all together and oohed and awed and sort of gawked and stared, but I have not read the rule book. And I really need to, so we can play this one because it looks fantastic. It looks so good.
So no Matt Damon in this.
No association that I'm aware of.
Okay. Shoot.
And I have to tell you, can I just this is totally not relevant really at all.
Well, neither was my Matt Damon.
I was going to say
Right.
this whole episode is just going to fit right in.
But if we're going to go down that rabbit hole, let me just tell you, sometimes I kind of like those cheesy, campy action movies.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just sort of grab you. And there's not really a great reason why I should like that show. But I kind of do.
Oh, I haven't actually seen it.
Oh, really? Yeah, it's not.
Just
It's
Matt
like
Damon seems so out of place.
he's so out of place.
Yeah.
No, he is. He's completely out of place in that movie, and yet still like super fun to watch. Not good. I can't say it's a good
not
movie,
good.
but it's so fun to watch. Yeah, I love that movie. Anyway, I would rather play this game than watch that movie, though. Hopefully by the
Me
end
too.
of the year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully
Awesome.
we can get to it.
Sweet. I
Big
like it.
beefy game.
You know, I was just thinking for us to get these off our list, that means we probably ought to at least be playing one of these a week.
Yeah.
Why do you got to make it real?
Yeah, Andy, why are you doing that to us?
Because
I want to
wanna
live in this
actually-
fantasy where I can get these all played.
Yeah,
we
it
need
doesn't
more
have to be a-
crossover.
It doesn't have to be a fantasy, Nathan. It can be real.
I don't know if it can.
It's just one of yours per
Wow,
month.
not with that attitude.
Just one per month. I could
Just one per month. You can do it. I
You can
believe
do
in
it, Nate. You can do it.
September, October, November, December.
Yeah.
That's 4.
I know, but we'll have to add an extra one in there somewhere.
All right.
You
We
can do it.
We can do it, Nathan.
You can do it.
All right, that leaves me to my number 2. My number 2 is a game that Logan and I both went in together to purchase at SaltCon in the Game Swap, and this is Planet Apocalypse. We bought everything for it too, so I have tons of content for this game. It is a cooperative dungeon crawl game, again, because I love dungeon crawls. So it is a cooperative game, and you're battling demons as a team. It's primarily a battle game, but it also has a tower defense element and a role-playing element as you build up your characters. And there are a bunch of different scenarios that you can play. Like I said, there's tons of content. Miniatures for this are bizarre.
Yeah, they're so weird.
They really are. They are
This is
strange.
this is kind of a weird game, but it's one that, like, when you guys picked it up at SaltCon, I was like, oh man, I'm glad you guys found this one because it looks cool.
It does. It looks very amazing. So I hope that the gameplay's good. We just need to get to the table. It's been sitting on the shelf, taking up a lot of space. If a game's going to take up that much space, it dang well better be played.
I agree.
Very nice.
That looks really cool.
All right, Sierra, what's your number? No, I'm sorry, Nathan.
You're just going to do it
Sorry,
right
Nathan.
again. Which actually, now that you said that, means that I think I totally skipped me. I'm the reason that I skipped
I
number
think so.
4. Because I went right to Sierra. So my number 2 is...
One that I don't want to miss out on.
Yes.
When you get to
Either.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's one that will more likely than not be played with the 4 of us. Pretty easy to get to the table. So if I'm doing this one, I mean, I've read the rules.
Recently?
I've read the rules.
Do you remember the rules?
I've read the rules.
There it is.
Okay.
The rules that I've read so far are pretty readable and could be taught fairly easily. That is Ticket to Ride Legacy.
When you said that you've read the rules, that kind of implied that you've read all the rules, but then you come in and say, the rules I've read so far, which implies that not read all of the rules?
I would hope not. It's a legacy game.
Oh, and I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
Okay. You had me concerned there for a minute, Nathan.
Well, and there's justification for that for sure.
Okay.
But-
I'm caught up.
Yeah.
I'm always concerned about Nathan.
Phew. And as you should be. And anybody who's listening probably can pick up on that too. But yeah, this Ticket to Ride Legacy, I am pretty excited about it. I'm always down for legacy games. So like Solar 175, very much a legacy game.
Freelancers, I think, is like
It's a
campaign, I guess, not legacy.
Well, yes,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
even
yeah.
know if it's campaign, but it is story driven for sure. Ticket to Ride Legacy looks really good. Enjoy Ticket to Ride. This is something that we will very much enjoy. As soon as we get caught up, hopefully this wedding doesn't bog us down so that we can stay caught up.
Yeah, let's hope.
Start getting back to some homework nights.
Hope springs eternal, doesn't it?
It does. It really, truly does. But I guess we really only had to play this once to get it off the shelf. A shame. I would still like to play it. And if it's
Yeah.
typical for us, we'll play 4 scenarios into it and then forget about it again.
Yeah, yeah. And then in like 3 or 4 years from now, you'll have to buy another copy so we can start it over.
Well, spoiler alert, I already bought 2 copies. So it's just for that reason.
Why?
Actually, spoiler alert, I brought a copy to play with my wife and to play with you guys too.
Oh,
so
that's nice. Have you and your wife been playing it then?
I read the rules.
All right, that leads us to our number 1.
What you got for us, Sierra?
This one, again, from my collection, it is Twilight Inscription. This is one that is one of my favorite games. I love it so much, and my dad got it for me so that I could have my own copy and play it, and I still haven't played it, and it's been at least a year and a half. I really need to get this one played. You have your own alien race, and you are competing to explore your galaxy, to unlock different planets, or have a larger military, or upgrade different things. Everyone has their own boards. You have 4 boards, and you can play on one board each turn, and so everyone kind of plays to their strengths from their race. You have to try and get as many points as you can by the end of the game. So many ways to do that.
Yeah, this is like an epic flip and right game. It is awesome. I love Twilight Inscription. It would not make me cry if we got this to the table before the end of the year.
I was hoping we'd play it in Montana
Yeah.
Oh,
that would've
yeah,
been
because
cool.
I was really wanted someone to trap my wife into sitting down and learning this game because it's an overwhelming game. And I know if I was trying to teach her, I would run into a lot of nope. Like Andy, you taught her how to play Castles of Burgundy.
That's true.
And she enjoyed that game. I think
To the point that you almost bought it, the deluxe copy.
I did, and still kind of regretting that I didn't.
I'm sure you still could.
I probably could, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stand firm in my I don't back Kickstarters.
Okay.
Fooling nobody.
Castles of Burgundy is a great game. Twilight Inscription is an amazing game. And thanks for teaching my wife Castles. Now teach my wife Twilight Inscription.
Okay. I can do that.
And Sierra, you can't play and beat her.
You can't play and beat her. That was pretty epic when she played Twilight Inscription at SaltCon and destroyed all the men at the table.
Yes.
It was this tiny little girl at the table and just kind of silently,
that was awesome.
just silently over there, just marking her board, and everybody tallied up score, and she's just like, yeah, I beat everybody.
Completely didn't expect anything. It was great.
That's awesome. So Nathan, what do you call that? What's the opposite of an intervention? Like where rather than trying to get somebody off of a bad behavior, you're trying to get them addicted to something.
Enabling?
Enabling, yeah.
Okay. So, but like a group, like when a whole group does it?
Peer pressure.
Peer pressure?
There you go, yeah.
So we just need to peer pressure Cheryl into the Twilight Inscription. Okay.
Yeah.
The opposite.
But don't make it sound like that, and don't make it feel like that,
Wait.
or else she'll never play again.
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't want the person to know it's an
Yeah,
intervention when you
but-
have an intervention.
Why are you saying that's bad behavior, Doug? Playing Twilight Inscription is great behavior.
I agree. I'm on board with this.
Okay.
Making sure we have our terminology and plan correct. That's all.
So we'll get our plans together.
We're helping her.
We're helping
it's-
her. Yes,
okay.
yes, we are helping her.
Nice. Very nice. Well, my number one, Nathan, is also a legacy game.
I am also excited about this one.
There's not enough time on the podcast for me to adequately convey just how much I love Jurassic Park and how much how just important that was to my childhood, right? And I love the whole franchise. Well, Jurassic Park 3 could have just been tossed in the garbage, but pretty much everything about it, I loved. The books, the movies, everything else. So I, of course, was incredibly excited about Jurassic World, the legacy of Isla Nublar. Been sitting on the shelf for a long time, and I super want to play this. The thing is, I'm almost scared to pull it off the shelf because I want to have such a good time with it. I want to pick the right people in the right time so that we make sure we get through it. But I'm also worried that like if somebody doesn't like it, it'll turn into like one of those Seafall situations. And I'm nervous. I've got like some nervous energy about this game because I think it's going to be really good, but I don't know that it's going to be like amazing. The reviews are good. It seems like it's really solid. It's got about the right weight, and I think everyone who's played it has had a good time. But I'm just a little nervous to get it off the shelf.
Well,
I don't know why. It's really weird.
You're worried about it being like Seafall. Let me ask you this.
Seafall is amazing, by the way.
No, but
Yes.
This is what I mean.
Can you buy Seafall, or can you buy this Jurassic World Isla Nublar? Can you buy this?
You had to go there, Andy.
for like $7.
No.
Okay, then it's probably better.
Oh,
Is Seafall a bargain bin game at this
Oh,
point?
it has been for years. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wish I could say it wasn't, but Seafall is an awesome game.
I am leaning more and more to Andy's opinion on this one as time passes, Nathan.
You should just stop listening to Andy. That little small mouth says such big words. Big, hurtful words.
Anyway, the last thing I want is for it to turn into that kind of situation. I think it's going to be really good, and I just need to be brave enough to pull it off the shelf and dive in and put all my feelings on the line.
You can do it.
I can
believe
do
in
it.
you.
Hopefully by the end of the year.
All right.
My number one, Jurassic World.
And on that note, I have perused the interwebs and revisited what was Jurassic Park 3, and you are correct.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it is the
it's
worst
terrible.
Jurassic movie
For sure.
of all of them.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay.
All right, number one. My number one, a game I picked up used. I got base game and an expansion, and that is Dungeonology: The Expedition.
I've never even heard of this. What even is this?
It has a lot of going on with it, Doug. It's an adventure game. There's exploration. It's fantasy, mythology, area movement aspects to this. It has a modular board. There's a pickup and delivery. It does have some take that to it. I don't know how much take that it's going to have. Hopefully not a ton. Tile placement. It has variable player powers. This is awesome. I'm so excited to get this game to the table. Artwork is really cool, and which is kind of what drew me to the game. Essentially diving into the dungeon and trying to study creatures, hence the name Dungeonology. So,
Okay, yeah. I'm thumbing through pictures right now, and I'm picking up what you're selling here.
so it looks cool. I'm excited to try it. Like I said, I hope the take that element of it is a minor element and not a major part of the game. Otherwise, it will probably end up on my coal pile that is fairly small.
You don't have a coal pile.
I do. I just didn't manage to sell very many of them.
Or any of them?
Or any of them?
I sold one.
Did you really?
I did.
What game did you sell?
It was an expansion to Zombicide that I had an extra copy of.
That doesn't count as culling.
That does not count.
That counts as
That's not a cull.
Nathan bought an extra game. Nathan's got to sell it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I mean, I tried.
Okay. All right. Yeah, this game does look pretty interesting, though. I'm interested in this.
I love modular boards. I love the exploration that typically comes with modular boards. Everybody knows that I love asymmetrical powers. Keeps things fresh, trying a different character. I am anxious to get this to the table, and I am really hoping that it is going to be as fun as it looks, and that the take that isn't bad enough that people don't want to play it. Our group doesn't do great with that take that mechanic. Time will tell when we get this to the table this year.
Does have several expansions. Not necessarily expansions, but promo cards to track down.
Oh, good.
You talk about the art, and I'm looking at the thumbnail here on BGG. It's the first guy in the team, looks like a Lego guy. So when you started talking about the art, I'm like, that art looks pretty lame. Upon closer review of a more zoomed in view, the art does look better.
Yeah, the art on the tiles is fun. I just think it looks like a good game. The components are nice too. It has good quality components. The layered player boards is one that we need to get to the table.
Very nice.
So my number one.
This is the last number one.
This is the last number one. Got to make it big.
Mm-hmm.
I'm anticipating now.
You're waiting for it.
This is one I was hoping we'd already have played by now.
Me too, because I've read a good portion of the rules and then forgot that, read it again, and I've read most of the rule book 3 times now. But I really want to get this to the table. I got it all punched, all ready to go, and I'm closer than ever.
Wow, that's probably
Yeah.
more than the rest of these on the list, if
Yeah.
you've got it out of shrink.
You know what, Andy?
What?
You're so mean
I'm
sometimes.
just trying to be helpful.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And this is really pretty close to getting to the table. And this is Voidfall. Voidfall is one that I was super excited about. You're playing very asymmetrically, and you're trying to get influence to get your house or your species the most points. Everything about this game just excites me. And I very much want to get this to the table because it's a space theme, sci-fi, which I very much enjoy. It is a heavier game, does have some asymmetric powers, asymmetric player abilities. That does have me a little bit concerned. This is probably one of the heaviest games that I own. It has on BGG has a weight of 4.63.
Wow.
Weight is justified in the fact that every faction that you're playing plays differently, so there is variety. It's
I'm not scared.
Yeah, it's not something that should be like, oh, that's I'm out. It's more a lines of like root or sidereal
confluence.
Thank you, sidereal confluence. But it does have a longer play. Has a very nice board. The artwork's on it very nice. You're playing cards to try to take actions, move your ships. Deluxe edition, so it has some very nice looking ships in it and some very nice pieces. Very excited about this.
This may be one that we have to have everybody show up to game night on time so that we can actually finish playing it.
Yeah.
That
It does
night.
have a longer time play. It would be nice if people were a little bit more prepared. It's going to be a slog
Yeah,
getting
for sure.
through the first time.
Yeah.
For sure. Because there is so much of the mechanics that you got to learn.
As with any heavy game that's that heavy, that first
Yeah.
play is going to be a little rough. Yeah.
It does have a tutorial. So maybe the first time we play through it, we'll go through the tutorial. So that'll make the second experience a little bit better. So,
Yeah, that's great. I like when heavier games do that.
Yeah. I do too at a point talk about how great Jaws of the
Lion.
Lion trickled in that information. Starship Catan, I can't remember what the new version is. Catan, Starship, or whatever
yeah.
it is that you and I played, Andy. However, there's the game that I was reading the rules for, Omicron Protocol or whatever it is. And I read the rules, it had stages that you read the rules.
Sometimes it's not necessary.
Yeah, no. And that was one that I read through the introduction booklet, and then it had like all this other stuff that you can, you'll do that in the next book. You do that in the next booklet. So just kind of ignore all this stuff. I mean, the way that process went, and I actually never got the game to the table. Reading through the rules, I'm like, just give me everything
Yeah.
at first and say, okay, some of this stuff won't be used until later, but don't have me read a whole rule book and then say, okay, go to the next rule book, which has all the same information in it, getting a whole new rule book, having all the same information, but a small amount more, and then say, okay, now to get everything else, go to the next rule book, which has all the same information plus a little bit more.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
I mean, I was just like, okay, by the time I'd gone through the second rule book, I'm like, I don't even want to play this game anymore.
Yeah, when you have to read the same information over and over again. That's frustrating. Kind of reminds me of that other game we played where we gradually unlocked rules and you had to like read like 2 pages of rules once you got onto the next scenario.
That was such a game killer.
It was.
It was the,
Yeah, for what was that one called?
the initiative.
The Initiative.
Yeah.
Which actually I kind of enjoyed.
It was fun
until we hit a rule wall right in the middle of playing.
Yeah. Omicron Protocol. It's not quite like that where with the initiative where you ran into just, we're all going to stop and read the rules. This is one person should read the rules. The thing that just makes me mad about that is I should have just started with the big rule book.
Yeah.
Read that. I would have felt much more happier with my rule learning experience. So
Yeah.
I know we're not talking about rule books, but I'll just throw in here. I love, and I wish more games would copy it. I love the way Fantasy Flight does a lot of their rule books, where you have the how to play and quick setup in one, and it's usually like a smaller rule book, and you can just go through and it gives you all the basic information you need to set up and start playing your first game. But then they have the glossary book, gives you all the stuff you can go look up as it comes up during play.
I waffled on that.
Yeah, I know a lot of people did. And I know a lot of people are like, I don't get this, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is if you actually just do it, if you just use that book to set it up and start playing, and then just reference the glossary, but when it becomes relevant, it works really well.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. For a while, I was like, this is kind of the same complaints I'm having with this other one. Why give me 2 rule books? But it has worked smoothly.
Yeah, it works really good.
But anyways,
Awesome. Great number ones.
yeah.
Great top 5.
Yeah, I totally agree. We just need to get them played. So I think we're pretty committed to doing at least one more episode before the year is up, just to finalize all of the Shelf of Shame games we've been able to play, and hopefully a lot of these will be on that.
Hopefully. Or else we'll just repeat
Just
this
there's
episode
Nathan.
for next year.
There's Nathan just over there like, I don't know if it's possible. I'm not sure. It's like, why are we recording this, Nathan? What are we doing here?
Yes.
Why didn't we spend this time playing? Yeah, why didn't we
we?
spend this time playing the Shelf of Shame game then?
Yeah, for sure. No, we'll get these done, and we'll get some of Sierra's games played. Problem is, so many of these are legacy style games, campaign style games.
It's true.
It's not going to scare us. We got to stop being scared. I have to stop being scared.
Yep.
Of heavier weights and of having my feelings hurt about games that I really want to like.
Let me tell you about Seafall.
All right. Well, this has been an excellent episode.
Sierra, let me tell you about Seafall.
Until next time.
Corruption.
We'll see you at the game table, busting out those games off your Shelf of Shame and not tearing down Seafall. It's a good game.
It's
at the
not.
game table.
Let it go.
Seriously.
Thank you for listening and being a part of Meeple Nation. If you would be so kind as to follow, subscribe, share, and rate or review this podcast, it really helps to spread the fun. You can be more involved in supporting the podcast by joining the nation at patreon.com/Meeple Nation, or you can find a link at the top of our webpage, meeplenation.com. And while you're there, look at all our extra content. There are links to all our past episodes, a wide variety of blogs, pictures from our Instagram feed, and bios for all the hosts and our awesome bloggers. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, all under Meeple Nation. If you would like to chat with the hosts or other members of the nation, you can join our Facebook group, Meeple Nation Off Air. We hope to see you again at a game night, a con, or maybe a suspense-driven evening of Werewolf. Thank you for listening and supporting Meeple Nation, and stay tuned for next week's episode.
Thank you so much for listening. We very much want to thank our patrons who help keep the podcast running. I personally want to thank my co-hosts for all the help they provide with both content here on the podcast, in addition to what we have available on our website. Without them, the podcast would not happen. If you too would like to support the podcast, you can join the nation at patreon.com/Meeple_Nation, or you can find a link to Patreon at the top of our webpage, meeplenation.com. If you have any questions, comments, or games you feel should be on our radar, you can always reach us at meeplenation@gmail.com. We can't wait to hear from you. I am grateful to Doug and Andy who helped me edit episodes, and I want to thank James and Kim Clark who do the editing on our blogs and on our webpage, which can be found at meeplenation.com. We want to thank Brain Detergent for our music. If you want to find more from him, you can follow his links that can be found on our webpage or simply search for Brain Detergent on YouTube to find more of his tracks. Thank you again for listening and being part of the Meeple Nation community.